Thing I said about Kat Abughazaleh, I take back. You have to vote for her now. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Striking distance. Striking distance. Striking distance. Kat Abughazaleh at 20%, with Daniel Biss at 24%, 0% movement. Kat Abughazaleh has picked up 3 points. Yeah. We're funding Taiwan. We're arming Taiwan militarily. Okay. We're going to war with China. You have to vote for her. Straight up. It would unironically be better for us if she loses. Oh my fucking Lord. Vote against her. Oh God, you guys are so fucking stupid. Oh, I want to throw up sometimes. Make an example out of her. Yeah, I'm running. She's definitely close. I mean, that's insanely close. And she's objectively better than Daniel Biss. I don't give a shit about her Taiwan position. I don't think she's fucking... I don't think that's anything that materializes in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter. Also, she's malleable. That's why her bad takes are damaging, ruin that momentum. What are you talking about? She literally picked up since those bad takes. No one gives a fuck about her position on Taiwan. Come on. Michael from Taiwan. Don't you want new arms sales to Taiwan? Don't you want accelerated arms sales and defense systems to Taiwan, where you reside? No, but seriously. Come on, it's not that different from the Graham Plattner shit. Americans, by and large, don't give a fuck about foreign policy, except for Israel. They do give a fuck about foreign policy on Israel. Why do they give a fuck about foreign policy on Israel? Because Israel also interferes in domestic policy. As far as like arming Taiwan or whatever, no fucking Illinois 9 Evanstown resident is like, wow, I can't believe this 26-year-old anti-Zionist Palestinian is actually in favor of arming Taiwan to defend Taiwan. They're not going to fucking make that calculation at all. They either didn't even fucking hear about it, or if they did, they didn't even think about it as like a bad position. As far as like the Graham Plattner saga goes, Graham Plattner's positions are infinitely better than Kat Abughazaleh's. Let's be real. That's true. But I mean like as far as shit that we care about, as opposed to shit that the average voter cares about. They don't give a fuck about that. True source, I live in Illinois. Yeah. Taiwan donates humanitarian aid to Israel. Oh my God. Oh God damn, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. Low taper fade, buzz cut, beard puppies. Okay. Yeah. No, you got it. There it is. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Bro, look at that. Look at that. I think this is AI, right? I assume this is AI, but like, look at that, dude. Magic. Magic. You see the motion. You see what I was talking about. Sold. If Kat wins the election, how quickly will we be in a ground war with China for Taiwan's sake? And at what point will that war go nuclear directly because of Kat? Serious question. Are you fucking serious? Yes. America is going to go toe-to-toe with a nuclear armed nation that's responsible for 30% of our trade because of a 26-year-old that won Illinois 9 by like 2 points potentially in the primary. What are you talking about? That's NOTAT's FaZe Banks. If Kat won't give up her Taiwan position, what makes you think she will cave on other shit? Because I don't think she's like ideologically committed to waging war with Taiwan or some shit. I think she's trying to do the classic lib shit where you want to be like morally consistent, okay? Or what you perceive as morally consistent. And that's precisely what this is. It's a talking point so she doesn't get yelled at on her pro-Palestinian sovereignty position. That's it. That's it. It's not like she's gonna fucking commit to, I don't know, the separating Taiwan as a state and go against like however many years of fucking American foreign policy. Yes, I'm here. Heard y'all were talking. What's up, chat? It's not even a question, dude. 20 plus 3 right there up Biss's ass. Better candidate overall. I was iffy on Kat, but now that she's come out as an internationalist socialist, I will be supporting her. Fuck the Maoists. Marxist Leninism forever. You guys are so fucking annoying. Yeah, the internationalist socialist position of like utilizing America as an entry point into fucking its main competitor in the global marketplace. That's the internet. My internationalist socialist position is that we need to constantly wage war with a foreign country that doesn't need to be considered an adversary at all. That's not an internationalist socialist position. It's a joke. Calm down. Sorry, I thought you were being sincere because I see a lot of that on my timeline. I see a lot of that on my timeline nonstop, endlessly, where people will be like, oh, all these leftists are shitting on diaspora populations because they're trying to be racist but leftistly. It's like, no, I think people would be racist if they wanted to be racist. I want to Ukrainify Taiwan is not a leftist position. AIPAC spent $850,000 against us today with an AI-generated attack ad. Can you ask her about her CIA mentor at GWU? Come on, Michael from Pennsylvania. Like, I went to college in the United States of America as well. You know, I had fucking professors that also worked in the State Department. Come on.
Kat Abughazaleh, totally fake. Kat's campaign is being funded with tens of thousands of dollars from right-wing donors to Republicans and Donald Trump. And she lied about no billionaire contributions.
Who's your pig? Who's your pig? You and I sometimes have disagreements, but we're both very pragmatic. You're not one of those guys that casts aside electoralism, okay? Who's your pig? And I know you didn't trust her from the start because of media matters, George Soros bucks, all that shit. But who's your pig in this race? You know what I mean? Bliss is his pig. You are not fucking in favor of Daniel Bliss. That's crazy. No, he's not going to say Bushra because he knows, just as I do, that Bushra is at fucking 6%. He's not going to say Bushra, and I don't think he's going to say Daniel Bliss either. His argument is probably going to be Kat Abughazaleh doesn't have messaging discipline and should not be seen as a part of this movement because otherwise, even if she wins, that's still going to be bad at the end of the day because then it's like people are going to associate this movement with someone who is like posturing with the most right-wing position on China, more right-wing than Tom Cotton, okay? I don't think that Kat Abughazaleh is as committed to this war hawking against China. And I think it's more so her trying to fucking maintain a moral high ground with her pro-Palestinian advocacy. In a debate lord kind of way, the DSA candidate is who I'm backing, Bushra, but Biss or Kat are the same progressive lib. He has better takes on Medicare for all in Taiwan. I honestly don't think I don't think it matters which of them wins. Okay, so you're relinquishing this race. You're just giving up on it. You're giving up on it. That's your take on the race, that you just don't care. I don't know enough about Bushra's takes, okay? But what I do know is she's unfortunately at 6%. Is her name even Bushra? It is. Bushra Amawala. As far as candidate favorabilities goes, pretty good. 39% favorable. 17% not sure, 34% unfavorable, as opposed to Daniel Biss, who has 50% favorability, 31% unfavorability. Why did Mike push Fetterman when he was pro-Israel against Oz? It's just harm reduction and electoralism. Okay, Fetterman was, there was a good reason. Unlike Plattner, I do think Kat is someone you'd like to be able to get through to change your stance. What policy position that Plattner has advocated for that you want to change the stances of? I'm defending both. I'm defending Plattner and Kat Abughazaleh here, but like, what stance do you want Plattner to change? Like, what do you need for? Do you want him to join Hezbollah? Is that when you're going to be like, okay, you know what? Grant Plattner is actually the woke warrior that you know looks like a chud, acts like a woke, thinks like a woke, acts like a chud. Like, is that what it is? Do you want him to fucking arm, you know, the Hamas militancy? Is that? Do you want him to commit to that? Is that when you will be like, okay, Grant Plattner, my mistake. I misunderstood your position. It's crazy. Grant Plattner joins Hamas. Grant Plattner, the new Ayatollah. Please stop conflating Plattner and Caddy as a flawless platform. She doesn't. Yes, I like Grant Plattner's platform. I like Grant Plattner's platform more than I like Kat Abughazaleh's platform. Having said that, Grant Plattner also has red flags in his career, and a lot of people have made a big deal about it, especially in this community, even though those fucking red flags are utterly irrelevant when it comes to the calculation that Mainers are making. And I'm saying that Kat Abughazaleh's position on Taiwan, ridiculous, is also utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. At this point, if I turned around and advocated for Bushra Amawala, it would not change the fucking election. You understand that, right? There's a reason why AIPAC is like dumping $850,000 into this race against Kat. Oh my God, anarcho-pill. This is why anarchists, this is why I dunk on anarchists. Okay, but Taiwan should be free from both American and Chinese imperialism. Chinese imperialism. Check Kat's healthcare policy. She's not for Medicare for all. Wait, what? She's literally said she is when we talked about it. Would you support giving Taiwan a nuke to maintain their sovereignty? We can find a middle ground for Mike. No. More Chinese nukes? I mean, it's already Chinese, so there's more nukes that China already has in the mainland. But if Kat wins when she gets the bomb Taiwan button, what will we do then? I live in a fantasy world online. Please address my delusions. Yes, she's going to spam it extra fucking hard. I mean, this is a genuine question. Do you not think Abu Ghraib is disqualifying? Is there a red line that would say someone shouldn't run for office? No. I don't think you guys understand. Okay. A candidate, regardless of their fucking past, if they're advocating for the things sincerely that I agree with, I'm totally willing to fucking look past their heinous the heinous things that they've done in the past. Bro, I'll vote for someone who was convicted of murder if they've done their time. You know what I mean? Is this Tanky Hour in the chat? No, it's actually funny that Graham Plattner has the most interesting haters because he has like sincere anti-imperialist haters, like leftists, ultras, people who like already kind of hate electoralism anyway. And this is a good entry point to be like, see, another fucking dog shit candidate Hassan brought up because he's like a sheepdog for the Democratic Party. But then also blue sky liberals. Like blue sky libs fucking hate Graham Plattner, like with a passion. They fucking hate his ass. They hate him so much. It's so funny that they've basically decided that they can't actually put a dent in his approval ratings. So they've decided to try this new thing where they just go, he should drop out of the race when he has like a fucking 25-point lead on Janet Pills. It's really funny that they've just decided like, well, this is what the Democratic Party can't be like this. I mean, we can't, be like what? Winners? Is that what you think the Democratic Party can't be? I know you think that they should be fucking losers. Based on that poll, I'd say that I think Kat's going to win. They're underestimating youth turnout. Good. So fucking endorse her. Not that it matters, once again. Everything I post here also gets posted over on Blue Sky, and I sometimes forget that. Just went over to see how the platinum posts have been received, and not well. Should we post this one over there? Seems needlessly cruel. Seriously, fuck you, dude. Ryan Grimm is so bizarre. He's done great work at the Intercept and Drop Site and then post shit like this. Yes, he hates Jews. Surprise. Plattner, the Nazi tattoo guy? Yeah, having a totem cough tattoo. Who doesn't have one of those? He approvingly retweets neo-Nazis? Well, they're pretty unavoidable on X, so you can't blame him. Going on an anti-Semite's podcast? Well, lots of racists listen to it, so you'd be stupid not to get in front of them. I'm very smart. Who was the vet, Ryan? One of them was saying if Plattner wins, feds should invade Maine. I don't know what it is. I feel like I see something that they don't see, and they see something that I don't see. It kind of reminds me of the Tallarico equation, but this time for like white liberals in general. Like, black liberals don't fuck with James Tallarico for a multitude of different reasons, but I think like there's something that doesn't pass their smell test, right? And the same thing happens with Pete Buttigieg as well. But Tallarico, I think, is like a much more likable candidate that I like, right? As opposed to Pete Buttigieg. And I think Plattner has this thing where like something flips in people's heads where they're just like, they can't comprehend the average American's mindset, maybe. I don't know what it is. Like I don't understand. Because if Graham Plattner had the exact same policies and like maybe didn't have a totem cough tattoo or didn't fucking do Blackwater, right? One or the other. He would be like the best possible candidate that has ever fucking existed in this round, like in this election cycle. He's putting out banger after fucking banger. And I don't understand like why people are so caught up on it. I was at an anti-war protest in Portland, Maine the other day, and Plattner spoke. He's very popular here. Most people chirping, can't vote for him anyway. I know, but like I just don't understand what it is. Yeah, just like Zoran was like, fuck Cuba, Vuvuzela, and fucking Iran, and this shit happened almost respectively, especially in this new era foreign policy-wise. Yeah, that was a fucking major mistake. What are you going to do? Not fucking vote for Zoran? You know, yeah, he came out before the election. It was like, yeah, I think Cuba is run by tyrants. Like, these are things that are obviously very important to me, okay? Foreign policy is obviously very important to me, if not the most consequential part of my career, at least, okay? It's something that I'm desperately trying to change. It's Blue Skies say he's CIA, and you're mentioned too. Mainly, Hassan is being unreasonably aggressive to people who suggest that perhaps Plattner is a CIA asset and shouldn't be trusted. He doesn't believe it's possible for the U.S. to make a long game play to compromise socialists by creating Plattner years ago and activating them at the right time. That Plattner dude's a CIA plant, I swear. No, I think, you know what it is? You know what it is, guys? I think we're just not used to it. We're not used to hearing candidates like say things that we agree with. So I think this bricks people's brains, and then they end up looking for every red flag possible. And Graham Plattner has a fuck ton, right? So then they're like, oh, it must be because he's CIA. Because like, that's why whenever people were like, don't you feel like Graham Plattner is the lesser evil vote? And isn't that the same as like voting for Kamala Harris? I was like, no, I would literally tour the entire country if Kamala Harris had Graham Plattner's platform, pro-Medicare for all, fuck Israel, anti-war. I would literally be knocking on every fucking door I could for Kamala Harris. Like, that's not, you have lost the plot entirely. This take is the American exceptionalist take. They think the CIA is omnipotent. Yeah. Graham Plattner is the one thing I couldn't actually believe was a CIA psyop. Socialist progressive candidate who worked for Blackwater has a Nazi tattoo. Is about the level of execution is let's make a real life Jedi Knights and let's kill Fidel Castro with an exploding cigar. Graham Plattner was the CIA handler for Muhammad Atta. What, when he was like 17? Oh, that's awesome. I love people that hate these people. I think the calculus that people hate these great candidates is 1, they're children. 2, it's the internet, so everything is at an 11. 3, like you've pointed out, lots of anti-electoral slobbers. 4, true records also exist. I'm not very educated, but would choosing an unviable leftist alternative to Abughazaleh not be analogous to your assessment that a Green Party alternative would be preferable to voting for Gavin Newsom as a president based on principles? No, because the overwhelming majority of Kat Abughazaleh's platform, I agree with. She also spent a good deal of time in this fucking community as well. So I think she's much more malleable than the average Democratic Party candidate. So no, it's not like that at all. I think that it's weird to not care that his policies are by and far away the best. That's the only thing I care about. I agree. I agree with that. I assume Plattner has a long career outside of doing war crimes. He does, right? Discourse bot. Plattner stopped war crimes at least 5 years ago. Is that not enough? Yeah, Kat is literally a chatter. Another very normal day on Blue Sky where users are now calling for the federal government to invade and occupy Maine if Plattner wins his Senate race. Oh, that's funny. Half the Democratic Party are CIA agents and they focus on the one guy with good policies. Exactly. Like, half of the Democratic Party are CIA agents and the other half are veterans, but from the officer class. So it doesn't read as like grunt force. Okay? What is this? That was her producer, by the way. Check logs. People have no right to put a Nazi in power. If the government wasn't GOP, I'd say the federal government should, in the event of a Plattner victory, invade and occupy Maine, similar to the Confederacy states during Reconstruction. Let's hope Maine wouldn't need to, like World War II Germany, be annihilated. I love that. This is the one aspect of Twitter that I kind of miss, though, because this is like a bygone era. This is like Tumblr posting on Twitter. And there was a lot of that in Woke One. And I think what happened is we created like, we cordoned out a lot of the Tumblrinas and they went to Blue Sky. So they're having fun over there and they're agitating one another with their takes. And then some of them actually make their way back to Twitter every now and then. But like, I miss them. And it's funny because like every Zionist is also pushing the same button. Like Edward Isaac Dover, you know, the CNN reporter who also fucking hates Bernie Sanders and anyone and everyone that's an anti-Zionist. He hates them, myself included, of course. But like, you know, they press his ass on this shit so much. And it's kind of funny because, like, I'm going to be honest. There is one thing that this showed me. If you remember, I said the silver lining of Graham Plattner is that it shows me that voters are totally willing to overlook all this other stuff, the red flags. the red flags when you consider someone's policies. What is this? To be honest, to be fair, I think this is just a crazy person against goy, cis, straight, and neurotypical bullshit. Yeah, for me, I don't think that what good are Kat's left positions if we're all dead in a war with China? Yeah, that's not a real thing. That's why I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't even think it's necessarily indicative of like her foreign policy approach in general. Maybe I'm totally fucking wrong about it. But like, I think you guys end up reading heavily into this shit. Yeah, what's most remarkable about this is that Plattner is not only peeling off undecideds and third-party voters, he's actually cutting into Collins' base of support. Everything you've ever heard about electability is wrong. Oh, God, I love that. I fucking love that shit. Bro, Nancy Pelosi flew to Taiwan. If she couldn't start a fucking war as like one of the highest ranking officials in the goddamn government, what the fuck makes you think a 26-year-old from Illinois 9 is going to be able to single-handedly start a war with China? The CIA would assassinate her first before she ever tried to fucking hit the nuke China button. Respectfully, you're wrong about this. You're good to go, G. We know it's your friend. I mean, there's no like friendship when it comes to politics. I don't give a shit about that. She studied international relations. No, why would she have such undecided opinions about China? No, this comes from the GW foreign policy understanding for sure, and it's wrong. But the reason why she's talking like that is because she's 26. The reason why I say she's 26 is because someone that green doesn't know how to navigate these conversations at all. If you were to ask the average Democrat about, in private about what their opinions are about Taiwan, especially one that's like well-read at all or has any sort of foreign policy knowledge coming out of this fucking country's institutes of higher learning, they're going to probably have a similar position. Most politicians just know not to say anything about that. And I don't know, like she just like stepped on that fucking landmine for no reason. Then she shouldn't be a congressperson. So she's going to be a State Department puppet. Yeah, I think you guys are, once again, reading too much into it and think that this is like super significant when it's not. Also, if she wasn't 4 points behind Daniel Biss right now, I probably would be singing a different tune. If we allow one progressive neocon, then it opens the floodgates to others. Okay, we're taking ourselves a little bit too seriously here. One progressive neocon. Do you fucking hear yourself? There's like 12 total politicians in both parties right now that like align with you publicly. And you're over here being like, well, there's a lot of progressive neocons, technically.
Evanston now exposed Kat for taking contributions from members of some of America's wealthiest families. Thousands from the billionaire family of a Saudi arms dealer. Kat Abughazaleh, another fake politician. CPP is responsible for the content of this ad.
The Democratic Party is a massive donor base, and we could be fulfilling people's material needs right now. And also,
Plattner is a Nazi Blackwater mercenary. He's not a real progressive or a socialist. How the fuck do you not see this? It's because I'm both of those things, and I'm glad you understand that.
so showing through our actions our values, especially when people are so disillusioned in politics rather than just making a bunch of promises and talking like Gavin Newsom. Also, from March 18th till Election Day in November, like you said, this is a very Democratic district and the nation
candidate of
I don't believe there is for a candidate or indictment. Things have been crazy over here. But I am a Democratic Socialist. I'm a dues-paying DSA member, and I have been for my entire adult life.
We should say the indictment was not.
Is that not valid criticism? Why are you being sarcastic? No, it's not. if his policies reflected that background, I would be there with you. My attitude on this stuff is who you are now matters more to me than who you used to be. And for me, these shadows were all silent on AOC beclowning herself on the same question. Give me a fucking break. Shadows entertaining 0% probability. Looking for us, all of us. China is the golden shining nation on the hill that will not be invading Taiwan because they're too calculating to do that. They'll wait until it voluntarily merges without conflict.
On was one which I think you could take some pride in.
I'm actually, the last time I was supposed to come on here was after my arraignment.
Yes.
And then, have
you told your chatters to go on and talk to leftists in Maine instead of you? No, because I don't want chatters to annoy the leftists in Maine. They should annoy me instead. Seriously. Mainers have suffered enough living in fucking Maine, okay? It gets cold up there, dude. I don't want them to also have to fucking deal with the most annoying people.
That was a little crazy. So I've been indicted for protesting ICE. My trial is May 26th. If anyone is free.
He can be lying, no? Why the fuck would he lie ahead of the fucking progressive swing? You think he's the most calculating man in America? When Graham Plattner came out with his policies, it was still bold of him to come out and be like, I'm an anti-Zionist. How many fucking politicians were actively saying shit like that? Not many. Okay? He was definitely at the beginning of that wave.
It'll be really, really stupid. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason this administration.
This is before we even compare him to other candidates in general. Both other candidates running in other races with significant electoral viability.
For me, and why I and some of the most effective critics of this administration have been indicted. And it's because everyone I used to report on and win against, Stephen Miller, Elon Musk, Tom Homan, they run our country now. They know me and they don't want me in power.
I want to ask this. I have watched the Breaking Points interview you did with Crystal Ball and Ryan Grimm regarding a leaked email that from an advisor to you who has since left the campaign regarding characterizing you as an interventionist to the extent that we.
Homie, GP was recently on some Valhalla podcast, recently talking to some other former war criminal. GP is not to be trusted at all. Did Israel write this? Are you tuning in from Tel Aviv? Is this Unit 8200 in my chat? Or are you so fucking stupid that you literally fell for Jewish Insider's oppositional hit piece on an avowed anti-Israel candidate? I know the answer, by the way. Of course you're not fucking signing in from Tel Aviv. You're just a fucking idiot who literally got primed. They know how to fucking play you. That's the whole point. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, this is where all of this shit comes from. History professor, actually. Okay. Doesn't matter. You can still be fucking duped by a Jewish Insider Oppo hit piece. Did you read the hit piece? Did you know actually what took place? He went on a fucking Chud veteran podcast and got the Chud veteran to fucking agree with half of his goddamn positions. And then they got mad that their entire hit piece actually revolves around like Nate Kornakier, retired Green Beret, who's also promoted the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Okay. And the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories are like Israel was behind the JFK assassination and the global war on terror. Oh my God. It's like secondhand cancellation. Are you fucking serious? You're a goddamn professor. I wonder why Jewish Insider would write this article. Yeah, Plattner's also winning anyway, so it doesn't even fucking matter. We're talking about Kat.
You know what that means? I'm not sure. But and also regarding your perspective on Taiwan, I would encourage people, if they're really invested in this, to go into that interview, because it was about as in depth of a candidate interview I've seen on a very specific topic. But broadly speaking, just give us the broader answer for that, for those people who may be afraid that you are going to lead a massive campaign in the House to
invade Taiwan.
Not just perhaps to get into a war with China.
Yeah, no,
Wait a minute. That's the same reporter at Jewish Insider. New analysis for J Insider. Hassan Piker doubles down on Hamas support while maintaining progressive credibility. Wonder why Jewish Insider is writing these articles about Graham Plattner. That's not confusing to me because he's anti-Israel. What's confusing to me is why there are leftists who fucking fall for it.
I mean, look, war with any country, and especially China, is the last thing that I want. When I talk about dropping strategic ambiguity, specifically militarily, it's because we have a madman as the president. And if we have a president who is even somewhat predictable, as pretty much all of them since Nixon in one way or another have been, I wouldn't dream of touching it. But I also firmly believe in self-determination. And if people disagree with me on this, that is fine. But this is, especially as a Palestinian person, extremely important to me. That's why I also don't believe in touching the one China policy politically. If the people of Taiwan democratically vote for reunification, we should absolutely support that. This stance that I have is not for China as a boogeyman or for control of Taiwan. This is specifically
It's exactly what I said. Do you see? It's exactly what I said. She thinks this is like being morally consistent. The question I have, if I were to debate Lord her back, I'd be like, okay, if the people of Palestine vote for Hamas that did the atrocious act of October 7, do you think they still deserve autonomy and sovereignty? Or do you think Israel has a right to defend itself? And the reason why you get caught up in this when you try to do the moral consistency is because it's the same shit. That's not the same thing. It fucking absolutely is the same thing. It is. America utilizes Taiwan as a fucking... America utilizes Taiwanese liberation. If you believe that America has any sort of like liberationist framework that it's operating from, you're fucking delusional. Okay? That's it. America has no liberationist framework in its approach to Taiwan. It's just a fucking unsinkable aircraft carrier for America slammed in the ass cheeks of China that international agreements have already recognized as a part of fucking China. How the fuck do you guys on the quote unquote left still fall for this shit every fucking time? Regardless if Graham Cracker is a grifter or not, him winning on his platform will do real damage to his platform. That is obvious. What? You're running for Congress. You're running for a congressional seat in the United States of America, one of the most evil countries on the fucking planet. Let's be real, okay? I love the promise that this country has. I love the people in this country, but our output is devastating for the rest of the planet. Okay? What the fuck is this like, moral consistency framework that you're trying to operate off of? It's ridiculous. That's it. At the end of the day, you're running for office in America, okay?
Determination. Once again, if you disagree with that,
you don't like her? No, I do, and I think I think you should still vote for her if you live in Illinois 9 for sure, 100%.
Is your stance, but that's important to me, and this is an act for deterrence. We need to be investing in diplomacy, and we also need to be looking at China as a trade and innovation partner. But that's not possible with Republicans.
Kat is absolutely abhorrent using us Palestinians. She's Palestinian, dumbass. The fuck are you talking about? Us Palestinians. Palestinians do not stand with Kat. She's literally Palestinian, and Palestinians do absolutely stand with Kat. Clarify how Palestine is the same as Taiwan in this scenario. I'm not getting it. People utilize approval ratings to make it seem as though imperial superpowers or imperialist countries, settler colonies, have some kind of liberatory perspective in that justifies their military intervention. Okay? Don't ask me. Ask fucking Mao Zedong. Okay? Here's what Mao Zedong had to say. Why won't they just show the fucking quote? Why is this so goddamn hard to find the fucking quote? Here it is. Israel and Taiwan are bases of operation for imperialism in Asia. They created Israel for the Arabs and Taiwan for us. They both have the same objective. The difference, of course, is that they actually leaned into the Han Chinese population that was ideologically nationalist instead with Taiwan. That's it. Mao, I'm quite fond of meeting Nixon and Kissinger. That's true, he did. And also, I respect him for it.
They are now. And it's also not possible when any country is doing imperialism. That includes the United States, but it also includes Israel. It includes China. It includes Russia. Imperialism and wars of aggression are bad. And
Wait, what? You suck Mao's dick? Like, even if he massacred the Uyghurs? Are you kidding me? Come on. Mao Zedong massacred the Uyghurs? Do you think Mao Zedong is alive right now and is responsible for the Xinjiang policy? And also, what populace did Taiwan genocide like Israel did? Bitch, do you know anything about the history of Taiwan? Are you familiar with the White Terror? What the fuck are you talking about? If you don't have any opinion on this stuff, why do you act as though you have like a very, like you can have a more well-rounded opinion if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You could say that was in the past and that's fine, right? That's fair. And it's not like, it doesn't mean anything for like modern day Taiwan. But it's crazy to fucking come in like that. Even if he did, current Taiwan isn't committing Israeli level atrocities. Yeah, it's just in support of Israel. You're comparing Palestine to Taiwan? Taiwan is comparable to Israel? No. No. Are you guys professionally misunderstanding what the fuck I'm saying? No, of course not. Even though current Taiwan does support Israel more than even China does, ironically enough, more than mainland China does. They literally played a role in the logistical supply chain and the beeper attacks that Israel committed, the act of terrorism against the Lebanese population. Even though China itself also is no hero in this endeavor. Let's be fucking real. The point I'm trying to make is that America, as a nation state, does not have a liberatory project that is going to serve the interests of the population of Taiwan. If tomorrow Taiwan decided to democratically unify with the nation of China, with the PRC, like officialize, like make it official that they're a part of, one China, America would not let that happen. Okay? Because the perspective of the people of Taiwan is utterly irrelevant in this situation. And that's precisely the reason why the perspective of the Taiwanese population is status quo. So as an American congressperson, when you come out and say stuff like, oh, well, I would be in favor of like militarily defending Taiwan, that's a crazy statement. There's a reason why most American politicians don't say anything like that, including, but not limited to, people like what do you fucking call it? Including but not limited to people like Tom Cotton. Yeah, we supported the military dictatorship there for 45 years. Self-determination, LOL, is right. They've liberalized since then, but it's ridiculous. Anyway, at the end of the day, this is irrelevant. This is irrelevant. This is not a serious conversation. Kat's position on Taiwan is not a serious point of contention here at all. Let's be real. I disagree with it, but it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter one bit. Okay? I don't know why we're like losing our minds over it.
Feel very strongly about that.
Got a week left, literally
1
a
week.
week before the voting starts, or I should say, is there early voting in this district?
There is early voting, and we also have same-day voter registration here. So you
Nice.
can take your ID and a piece of mail that confirms your address on there, and go to the polls. They will register you. They will give you a ballot. A lot of cases, you don't even have to do a provisional ballot, so your ballot can be counted right then. Election day is March 17th. If you want to know more, if you live in the area, this district goes from uptown Chicago up to Evanston, west to Skokie, and then all the way to Algonquin and Crystal Lake. It's gerrymandered to hell. You can go to catforillinois.com/vote. If you live in Illinois, please sign up for one of our Reach trainings, which is an app that essentially cross-references your contacts with voter data, so you can contact people you know to let them know to vote if they're in the area. You can do that at catforillinois.com/events, or sign up for
You won't be saying that when she introduces her first bill, Arm Taiwan with Nukes Act. I think my main fear is of slipping into a new Cold War against China is clearly what the blob in DC wants, and they will go after us against the Cold War. Weird position that is a huge red flag for me. It's understandable. I just don't think this is a sincere position and the one that she will move on. That's what I think. And maybe I'm wrong. And even if I'm wrong, it still doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, she would be another fucking China hawk in a sea of China hawks in Congress. It's not the most significant. If you consider it to be like a litmus test, I don't think